In your 20s and you are watching this video, I want to remind you that it is okay to not have your life figured out by the time you're 29. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Lori and I am so honored that you decided to watch today's video because today we're going to talk about 10 things I know at 33 now that I wish I knew in my 20s. A couple weeks ago, I was reflecting back on the decisions that I've made in the past, specifically in my 20s. And I think that 20-something-year-olds have a lot of pressure. I think it's society that has put this pressure on 20-year-olds to have their whole life figured out. And I am here to tell you that you don't. Take time to explore and learn and grow at your own pace. The first thing I wish I knew was to practice self-compassion and to be more gentle with myself. In your 20s, you are still learning and you are still evolving and growing, and you are going to make mistakes. Did you know that your brain is not fully developed until you're around 25 years old? The part of the brain that is responsible for decision-making, logic thinking, and reasoning is the prefrontal cortex. To think that an 18-year-old is considered an adult and to make certain decisions in their life makes sense to why a lot of people who are in their early 20s make a lot of mistakes. So again, I want you to be more patient with yourself. Another thing I wish I did more was to spend more time with myself. Like in my 20s, I feel like I was chasing friends, I was chasing, romantic relationships. And by doing all these things, I didn't know who I was truly. I like to call your 20s your self-discovery phase of your life. Please start investing time in exploring your interests, your passions, and don't be afraid to pursue them. Also, whatever career path you choose does not mean that you have to stick with it for the rest of your life. Your mind can change. What you thought you like in your 20s, you may not like in your 30s or your 40s. While you're spending time with yourself, I want you to reflect on your values. This is extremely important. I actually have a values journal that can help guide you through this process. I have linked it in the description box below. Once you start knowing what your values are, a lot of your decision making will be based off of your values. The third thing I wish I knew was to prioritize my mental health. This should be the first thing that you invest in. I have experienced a few traumatic experiences in my childhood, and I do believe if I had invested in my mental health in my early 20s, a lot of decisions that I made, I wouldn't have made them. I grew up in a Caribbean household. I was raised in a very strict environment, and mental health is something that is not talked about, and they do not believe in mental health disorders. I remember when I was in high school, I was severely depressed, and I remember telling a family member that, I was feeling down, and she just said I needed to pray, and that God will make me happy again. And I understand that we all need God, but sometimes we need God and therapy combined. So as soon as I graduated from high school, I left. I did not go to college right after high school because I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I was just out here just living, okay? I had so much freedom, I didn't know what to do with my time. So I was just doing every and anything, okay? In my late 20s is actually when I started investing in therapy. And honestly, I wish I had done it way sooner. I know therapy is not accessible for everyone, but there are a few programs out there that are affordable. There's this platform that is very cost effective, and they're called Open Path Collective. You can find a therapist as low as $40, and you can also work with a student intern for as low as $30. They are a non-profit organization that serves clients that lack health insurance or that just can't afford typical therapy rates between $200 and $300. The fourth thing I wish I took a little bit more seriously is my physical health. Your 20s is a formative period where habits are established. Regular exercise helps release endorphins that help reduce stress, anxiety, and depression. I'm not saying for you to be a fitness junkie and go to the gym 7 times a week. I have seen these videos on Instagram with these guys that are doing some crazy stuff at the gym. You don't have to go to that level, okay? You can start by going to the gym or going for a walk like twice a week. And then over time, once you start building that habit, start going more often. The fifth thing I would say to my 20-year-olds is to slow down, okay?
Slow down.
Some of you have created this deadline for yourself that you have to be married by 25, have your first child by 30. You don't. Okay? Again, I don't know why society has this pressure on you guys. There is no rush to get married. There is no rush to have children. Marriage and having kids is a beautiful thing. But before you do, I want you to ask yourself, do you want marriage and kids because society wants you to have them? Is your parents pressuring you to have them? Or is it something that you truly desire? Everyone's journey is different. You feel like you're behind in life because someone that is 24 or 25 has their life figured out and you are at the same age and you feel like you're stuck. You don't know what they did to get to where they're at today. So that's why we can't compare ourselves to others. Social media is a very powerful tool. It will either discourage you or encourage you. Something that I've struggled with in the past is comparing myself to others. Sometimes I still do it. I feel like it's human nature to compare ourselves, but I've noticed that when I was comparing myself, it was more so of jealousy and envy. I remember comparing myself to some creators that were around their 20s that will make like $100,000 a month on social media, that will be going on brand trips, and I'm like, why can't that be me? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, what does she have that I don't have? So again, I started going to this rabbit hole of like being jealous of these people. If you're comparing yourself constantly with people on social media, you may need a social media detox. Like, take a break, I don't know, get off of social media for about a week or a month, whatever you need to do. Comparing yourself will just make you more depressed. Not everyone can be your friend, so focus on quality versus quantity. Surround yourself with friends that uplift you. Find your tribe. In my 20s, I think this is something I actually got right. 98% of my friends that I have met in my early 20s, I am still friends with till today. The 2% were those people that I actually outgrew, and then it's okay to outgrow people in your life. I have seen some videos about low maintenance friendships, and I don't know who started this trend, but I think it's just an excuse to not communicate with your friends. And I am not in agreement with low maintenance friendships. Again, that's just me, because I do believe you should prioritize the people that you care about. Not saying that you need to make your friends your number one priority. I'm not saying that, because my friends are not my number one priority. Like, my family is my number one priority, right? But at the end of the day, I'm still gonna make time for my friends. So start cultivating in meaningful relationships and connections now, and learn how to communicate and resolve conflicts effectively. The 8th thing I wish I knew was that everything people do is a reflection on them and not on you. As someone who was super sensitive, and it's actually crazy that I am that sensitive because I'm a therapist. But anyhow, I used to take things so personally. And sometimes I still do. It's something I think that I'm always gonna be working on, but I've came a long way. I had to learn that sometimes people just project their feelings onto you and it has nothing to do with you. When someone criticizes or accuses you of something, sometimes it may be a reflection of their own insecurities or unresolved issues than a true reflection of your actions or your character. Another example can be when someone acts negatively towards your success or achievement. That may usually stems from a feeling of envy or jealousy. In my 20s, I felt like I had to defend myself all the time. But now in my 30s, I don't have time for that. Like, if you believe that 3 + 3 is 7, that's you. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm going to leave you exactly where you are, because sometimes some people are fighting things that it's beyond my control. Number 9, educate yourself on finances. When I was 18, like, I had no idea what a credit card was. I remember applying for a credit card, and my limit at the time was $750. I maxed that card out in a couple of weeks, because I thought that credit cards were free money. I should have known, because nothing is free in America. I used to spend so much money in my 20s, ridiculous. Like, I used to go out Thursday through Sunday, like, for years. Like, I used to be at somebody's club every weekend, and I needed a new outfit every single time I went out. So you do the math. The amount of money that I spent, I feel like I should have been rich by now. Start saving. Whatever you can save, just do it. If it's $30, $50, $100 a month, every other week, whatever you can do, just start putting money to the side. Not saying that you should not have fun in your 20s. Like, I do believe you need to have fun in your 20s, but be responsible. Take time to learn about different investments, mutual funds, Roth IRA. Do your research and speak to a financial advisor if you need to. Learn how to say no. Setting boundaries is not selfish, and it is a way to protect your mental and your emotional health. Because people will try you if you let them. People know who to take advantage of, and those are the people that have no boundaries and that are people pleasers. Setting boundaries in your 20s will allow you to define who you are, what you stand for, and what you will and will not tolerate in your relationships and your experiences. In my 20s, I had a tendency to overextend myself with people. I had to learn that for me, the reason why that I was overextending myself was because I was looking for validation and wanted to be liked by people. There were things I didn't want to do, people I didn't want to be around, but I forced myself because I didn't want to disappoint the people that asked me. Learning to set boundaries now will teach you the importance of prioritizing your needs, your wants, your desires, and your values. If you're struggling with setting boundaries, I have a boundaries journal that's available for purchase. I have linked it in the description below, so please check it out. I hope you found some valuable points in this video that you will put into action today. So please like, comment, share, and I'm looking forward to catching you guys next time. Bye!